Yeah.
Hey, what's up, guys? We have the Q&A here, finally. And before I get started, I just want to explain what's happening in the background here. This is some footage from the last couple of ski trips my wife and I took up to Vermont, and plus some random stuff in the end, just to fill in time. So we have 8 questions total. Thank you, everyone, for your questions, and let's get right to them. I'll put a timestamp down below. I'll put timestamps down below so you can cut right to your question and you don't have to watch the whole video. So, first question from Threedabs Glenn. If you had to pick a body part to get it cut off, what body part would you get cut off? The body parts have to be hands, arm, legs, feet. Just one of them have to get cut off, and why? My answer would be my feet, because as a musician, I play the guitar. Having my hands cut off would take that ability to play music away from me, and that would just take away too much from my life overall. And for anyone who answered the bonus question in my reverse Q&A, you would also know that taking away my hands would also take away my ability to do cardio, right? Just kidding. But I also see a lot of pictures and stories and stuff of people with prosthetic limbs, prosthetic feet, still doing awesome things like running and snowboarding, or even weightlifting, like squatting and deadlifting. And who's that guy from? That guy from South Africa, right? But he has both his feet cut off. He has prosthetic feet, 2 prosthetic feet, and he still competes in the Olympic, right? So that's pretty crazy. The only difference is I wouldn't kill my wife like that guy did. But yeah, I would choose to have my feet cut off. But tough question. It really makes you kind of appreciate your limbs and appreciate the hardship that people who lose their limbs go through. But I think you also asked the same question to Dan from Home Physique, right? So I'm kind of concerned about your obsession with amputation here. No, I'm just kidding. Thanks for the question, Glenn. And moving on, number 2, Josh A. asked, my question is, when do you think, or does your program say you will hit that 500-pound deadlift? And I only write out my program like a month ahead of time. And, well, let's see. Let's say I hit 430 last month. Now, let's say let's stay on the conservative side and say I add 10 pounds to my deadlift per month. So I hit 430 last month, and I'm trying to reach 500. That would take me to October, right? And that's assuming I don't have any injuries or any setbacks like that. But say if I do have any minor setbacks, we'll say maybe November or December then. Or we'll just say I'll hit that 500-pound deadlift before next year. All right. Now that I've said it, I have to do it now. So thanks for your question, Josh A. John U, number 3. John U asked, question is, when and why did you start lifting? So let's go way back into the past now. So in the 4th grade, I had a traumatizing experience where I tried to take off, in the middle of class, I tried to take off my sweater, but because of the static cling, my shirt came off as well. And I was kind of like a chubby kid, and everyone was staring at me and laughing, and I remember looking down and seeing my fat rolls hanging over my pants and just feeling so embarrassed. And then also at that same time, I remember watching a music video with Puff Daddy in it, and remember seeing his abs and thinking to myself, man, I want to look like that. So I started being more active and started doing a ton of crunches, and by the 5th grade, I was a sick shredded cunt. I had a mean six-pack for being a 5th grader. Remember walking around in the middle of swim class trying to show it off to all my friends and all the girls. And then in middle school, I remember watching a lot of Dragon Ball Z, and remember trying to look like Goku and try to train like him the way he did in that gravity chamber. So in elementary and middle school, I wanted to look like Puff Daddy and Goku from Dragon Ball Z. So those were my motivation back then. In high school, my focus shifted more towards trying to look good for girls. after high school, I stopped lifting, stopped exercising at all, and but still ate the same amount, and so that turned me into that made me gain a lot of weight and lose all my muscles, and I stopped lifting for many years. And so when I started up again recently, I wanted to do it to look good again because I just gained too much fat and I wasn't really feeling good about the way my body looked or felt. So that's my reason for lifting. So number 4, Destamoon asks, why does a fish when it swims? I thought about this question long and hard. But then I started bleeding through my eyes and my nose and my ears. And, if I kept trying to ponder this question, I think my head would have exploded. So I'm sorry, but I'm just going to have to give up on this question, Destamoon, for my own safety. Number 5, Woody369 asks, my question for you is, can I have the gift card to buy a new foam roller? Well, seeing how you did win the gift card and how you did buy a foam roller, I guess that answers your question. He goes on to say, my actual question for you is, what made you start lifting? Athletics, looking good, being small, etc. I answered this in the 2 questions back with number 3, John Yu. But I'll go into a little more detail about why I recently started lifting. So, like I said, I gained a lot of weight. I was feeling really low in energy, and I just wasn't feeling good with how my body looked or felt. So I started lifting again to look good and to feel better and to have more energy. And I started about 2 years ago, and I started off with like Mike Chang type of exercises, burpees and supersetted with shoulder presses and stuff like that. And so I kind of wasted a year with that / some bodybuilding stuff. But then that wasn't cutting it for me. It did give me some results, just because anything when you're really that inactive and overweight would give you results. But I just it wasn't cutting it for me because I had some back pain that wasn't getting resolved with these type of exercises. And so I started looking into that and started really getting into squatting and deadlifting and more of those the powerlifting big threes, because I spent a lot of time sitting, playing the guitar and stuff like that, so my back was just really weak and I was just hunched over all the time. So I looked into exercises that would really strengthen my core, and powerlifting really appealed to me. So I started doing a 5x5 that focused on those main lifts and stuff like that. But yeah, the reason I started lifting recently was to look better and to feel better. Moving on, let's see here. Where are my questions? Number 6, Derek L09 asks, is there any difference between the fulfillment you get from physique gains versus strength gains? And that is a awesome question. I hope I can answer it well without rambling too much. So when I have a strength goal, it's a concrete, tangible goal. So for instance, I have my program written out, and I see that in 2 weeks I'll be squatting 300 pounds, or maybe in 3 weeks I'll be deadlifting 400 pounds. And so, there's something to look forward to. And also because I know if I skip a workout, that I'll be set back by 1 day. So that also leads me to be more consistent. So with those 2 things, it helps me feel really motivated to work out. Having something to look forward to, and the fact that if I miss a workout, I won't reach my goals as fast.
We're about to get scenic up in this bitch.
Now, with aesthetic goals, you don't know when things are going to come in. There's no date that you can put on it. There's nothing that tangible. You can't say, even though, a lot of people try to make you think this way, you can't say, in 3 weeks, I'll have 6-pack abs. in 4 weeks I'll have boulder shoulders. You know, yeah, going back to the whole Mike Chang bullshit that I used to do. So with that, you know, it's less gratifying to work out because you don't see when the end in sight. With strength goals, you see the end in sight and you want to run to it. And also, you know, and after you reach those goals, you know, it's also motivating too. And, you know, a 500-pound deadlift is a 500-pound deadlift no matter how you look at it. But with aesthetics, it's kind of subjective. You know, some days I think I look great. Some days I think I look like shit. And, you know, I have an example of this. I took a picture of myself and thought I looked like absolutely shit. But I wanted to post something on Instagram to kind of show where I am with my physique. And actually, it was one of my more well-received posts on Instagram. So that was kind of surprising to me, even though personally I felt like I looked like shit in that video. I mean, in that picture. And when I go out too, you know, some days no one even knows I lift. Some people ask if I've been dieting and lost weight, even though I haven't. And some days people think I've like been on the juice or been taking some crazy sort of protein or been working out 24/7. So it's really subjective. Whereas a 500, like I said before, 500-pound deadlift is a 500-pound deadlift. And after I hit my whatever strength goals I have, it feels great, and I am looking forward for more. But with aesthetic goals, you know, if I start to see my abs or something, then it's just not as motivating overall. I think is the main point I'm trying to say. I'm starting to ramble now. But anyways, the difference is that strength goals are more concrete, they're more tangible, and they're more not instant gratification, but you know, closer to that, and they're more real, I think. And aesthetic goals are more kind of abstract. And so nowadays, for me, my aesthetic goals are taking a back seat. You know, they're just a bonus now. You know, as I get stronger, obviously my muscles will increase in size as long as I take care of my nutrition. So it's kind of just a bonus now, and I'm more focused on my strength goals as of this moment. So number 7, JS asks, do you eat the same number of calories every day, or do you eat more on workout days and less on rest days? So I like to keep things simple, and personally, I've done bulking, cutting, and maintaining using the same amount of calories every day from day to day. And it worked fine for me in either direction. Bulking, I gained like 20 pounds when I did my bulk 2 years ago, eating the same amount of calories. So, I mean, that was pretty easy. I cut, if you go back to my videos in the summer, I cut all the way down to 143, and I was pretty goddamn lean. And I did that by the same thing, eating the same amount of calories every day. And leading up to my last meet, I ate the same amount of calories every day, trying to maintain my weight. So I think it's easier to keep it simple, and it's easier to set a habit when it's consistent from day to day. You know, eating the same amount of meals, eating the same size meals. You know, but switching back and forth between high and low calories, I think it just makes things too complicated, and for the majority of people, it's not necessary. Like I said, for me personally, I was able to achieve any goal that I wanted to either bulk, cut, or maintain by eating the same amount of calories every day. And in my opinion, it's not worth it to go into the small details. You know, you can take it to the extreme, the next extreme, and say, well, how many calories do you eat per meal before a workout? How many calories do you eat per meal after a workout? You know, and it just gets too complicated, because I think in the end, it's more about the net calories, the net weekly calories, you know, as opposed to hourly or daily. And I've been tracking my calories, my macros for a while now, and I have not noticed a trend, any correlation between eating higher calories or lesser calories and my weigh-in the next day. Of course, obviously, there is a correlation when I eat more calories overall throughout the week and my weekly average weigh-ins. You know, but not so much from day to day. You know, your metabolism is a moving target. You're not going to get accurate with it anyways. It's always changing. So just keep things simple and eat the same amount of calories every day. And also the concept of eating more calories on your workout days kind of doesn't make sense to me, because are you trying to give yourself more fuel to recover? That kind of makes sense. But also if you eat more calories on your off days, that gives you more fuel to recover, and it gives you more fuel for your body to digest and have readily available for you for your workout the next day. So overall, I just think it's too complicated. And kind of, when you think about it, it just doesn't make sense. I think just look at the big picture is the main point I'm trying to make here. All right, I think I rambled long enough for that question. Number 8, John Cassidy asked, how long do you spend on mobility per week, and how long do your gym sessions take, including warm-up and cool-down? So mobility, I work out 3 times a week, and I spend 20 to 30 minutes before each workout to warm up and do my mobility drills. Now I can do it in 10 minutes if I need to, if I'm in a rush. But I like to take my time, and I'll usually spend 20 to 30 minutes. And then it's not just 20 to 30 minutes that I spend to warm up for my gym session. It's 20 to 30 minutes that I spend for my overall health in general, for my overall flexibility and my mobility and stuff like that. And then on my off days, I might spend up to an hour on mobility stuff. But I haven't been that good with that lately. I've been spending that time making YouTube videos instead. So we'll say weekly I might spend anywhere between an hour and a half. No, we'll say an hour to 5 hours on mobility. Now for workout, I work out 3 times a week, and each session takes about 2 hours. It takes about 2 hours, but that includes me filming, me working out, and also includes me training my brother-in-law and my wife. So I also have to, as well as working myself out, I have to sit there and watch their form and spot them and film them and show them their mistakes and stuff like that. So it takes up a pretty large amount of time. The main work stuff like squat, bench, and deadlift and stuff like that. The first 3 exercises of my program, the 5x5 stuff, sometimes takes an hour just by itself, and then it's either an extra half hour or extra hour to do all the extra accessory work and stuff like that. So overall, the weekly I spend about 6 hours in the gym. So that is it. That is all the questions. I finally got through all of them. So thank you everyone for all your questions, and hope you enjoyed. And thanks for watching. I hope none of you watched the entire video. Hope I answered your questions well and I didn't ramble too much. And that's it. I'll talk to you guys in the next video.